Welcome to Psychology Time. Bullying is a serious epidemic that needs more attention on preventing it because victims of bullying are frequently affected by depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and post-traumatic stress disorder. In extreme rare cases, they may even consider suicide or harming others. It is really important for people to spread awareness about bullying and be more aware of the situations that happen around them, because this can happen to anyone, even someone close to you. So please like and share this video to spread awareness, as you may be the reason for saving a child from bullying. This video will help identify bullying and its main types, alarming data from the National Center for Education Statistics, the sad story of a young girl who had been bullied since 5th grade, and steps parents can use to know whether their child is being bullied, and how parents and schools can help stop or prevent it from happening. So let's begin. More often than not, you'd like to believe your child goes to school, learns something new, hangs out with friends, goes home, and life is good. However, you may be further away from the truth than you might think. When it comes to your children, it's crucial you try to read between the lines and understand the full picture of what goes on with them in school, because bullying is a serious worldwide phenomenon causing long-term negative effects on children, which can linger into their adulthood and beyond. Bullying can create glass barriers, suppressing the victim from speaking up. They would be too afraid to act due to threats made by the bully. We need to find ways to help children overcome this issue and break through the glass barriers, shedding light to the full truth of his or her ordeal before it's too late. Children often fall victim to these three main types of bullying. Physical bullying, which involves physical contact intended to hurt or intimidate another person. Examples include hitting, kicking, pushing, spitting, tripping, or taking another person's possessions. Another type is verbal bullying, which is when someone uses words to hurt or intimidate another person. Examples include name-calling, insults, teasing, or making threats. And last but not least is cyberbullying, which is when someone uses technology to hurt or intimidate another person. Examples include sending threatening emails, posting embarrassing photos online, or using social media to spread rumors. These types of bullying should not be taken lightly, so I urge you to please watch till the end of the video to learn crucial steps that may alleviate and possibly stop this social phenomena. Let's now take a look at frightening statistics of bullying in schools, as it truly is a problematic outbreak increasingly victimizing students. Sadly, researchers have evaluated that 3.2 million students are bullied in school each year, and, according to the National Center for Education Statistics, their last survey results showed that approximately 20.2% of students in grades 9 to 12 reported being bullied at school, which equals to 1 out of every 5 students who report being bullied. Furthermore, the NCES found that approximately 19.4% of students reported being the target of cyberbullying, 18.3% reported being physically bullied, and 16.2% reported being verbally bullied. Additionally, 11.1% of students reported being bullied based on their race or ethnicity. Also, what's interesting is that a higher percentage of male than of female students reported being physically bullied, 6% versus 4%. Whereas a higher percentage of female than of male students reported being the subjects of rumors, 18% versus 9%, and being excluded from activities on purpose, 7% versus 4%. For further details about bullying statistics, please view the links in the description below. I also want to point out that due to bullying, there has been an increased rate of school avoidance, loss of academic achievement, and increase in dropout rates. Therefore, it doesn't matter what type of bullying these students fall victim to, because they all have the same negative outcome, and we need to find a way to keep these children safe and help them in their academic and personal life, which we will get to in the end of this video. It's now time to listen to a young girl's bullying story, which is both heartbreaking and inspiring, as she has managed to overcome the negative impacts of bullying and find her way to success. Let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Lena. I have decided to join the Voice of the Voiceless group and speak out on behalf of the victims of bullying by telling you what it's like to be bullied and how I was able to get through it. I hope my story will be able to provide an important lesson for anyone who has faced or is facing bullying, showing that it is possible to come out on top in spite of it all. I was actually the type who always loved going to school. I was a straight-A student and loved spending time with my friends. I never thought about going to school as something frightening and dreadful. But then I moved to a different school, and that's when my perspective changed, as I became a victim of bullying. My story began in 5th grade. At first it was subtle and wasn't all too bad, but as each year passed it would get worse and worse.
Stop it! Shut up! Stop!
It was just the worst. My peers would tease me about how I dressed, my smile, my hair, and even my good grades. They would constantly ridicule me and make me feel worthless. They would do things like stick gum in my hair, call me names that have lingered into my head until now, and throw paper balls at me in class. They would do unimaginable things to me, and the worst part of it all is that I didn't know why. They literally destroyed my overall confidence, which made it almost impossible for me to socialize and make new friends. I would try to ignore them and focus on my schoolwork, but that only made things worse. I would go home from school and cry in my room without anyone knowing. I would always try to comprehend how anyone could be so hurtful and mean to another human. Whenever I think about going to school, my anxiety and depression kicks in. I kept all these negative emotions inside for far too long. I just about had enough and needed to speak to someone about this, so I finally decided to speak to my teacher, Mrs. Langley. She listened to everything I had to say and spoke to the bullies about stop teasing me. As I was watching her speak to them, one of the bullies looked at me with deep anger, and my dreadful expectation came true. The bullies came at me harder than ever because according to them I was a snitch. They started taking my lunch, bumping, and shoving me against the lockers in the hallway, create a name-calling frenzy at my expense, and the list goes on and on. I was so devastated as major depression and rage built up inside me, but I was mostly angry at myself for being too weak to stand up to them. The scariest thing is that I started to believe that the only way out was taking my own life. I thought about talking to my parents about this like 1,000 times, but it was just too embarrassing. But eventually I got the courage and told my mom, but even she thought I was exaggerating and overdramatic. I was so upset and decided to not tell anyone about it anymore. Nobody seemed to notice the pain and suffering I was experiencing. As time progressed, I learned that the answer wasn't in silence. It's in fighting back. When someone takes away your dignity, it changes who you are as a person, and it's hard to find yourself when you have nobody to be. I was well aware that I've reached my breaking point and needed to take matters into my own hands. But something told me to see the school counselor before I confront the bullies. I honestly thought it would be pointless because I expected her to not take my story seriously, but I was wrong. She listened attentively, and I agreed that she speaks to the principal about my situation. I'm not going to lie, I was embarrassed that even the principal now knows about my ordeal, but realized I'm at the point where I just need help by any means. The counselor and principal decided to bring the bullies' parents into the picture, and to my surprise it worked, and they actually stopped bullying me. They would pass me in the hallway and just look the other way. As the days passed, my confidence grew and started to socialize again, and before I knew I had some friends and enjoyed school again. My grades were improving and I started looking forward to going to school. But the only issue that remained was that the damage was already done, as I still remember how they made me feel and the harmful words they would use to bring me down. I'm currently trying really hard to forget and always remind myself that I'm in a much better place now than before. So the main takeaway from my story, and the reason I want every victim to hear it, is because I know how difficult being a victim of bullying can be. And you may feel like you're all alone, but trust me, you're not. There are so many other students going through this. No one can take your happiness and positivity away unless you allow them to. No matter how tough things may seem, there is always a way out. That's why you need to stand up against bullying. Don't wait and ignore it because it only gets worse. Speaking to more than one adult is the best thing to do because some listen better than others and really want to help. Just remember that with a positive mind, courage, and determination we can overcome anything. Never lose hope and always believe and focus on ending your story with a smile.
After listening to Lena open up, you can't help but empathize with her and think about what to do to stop bullying. So how can you know if your child is a victim of bullying in the first place? Well, it can be more difficult than you may think, but there are some indicators you can look for. These include changes in their behavior, such as becoming more withdrawn or losing interest in activities, physical signs like unexplained injuries, and even changes in their school performance. It's important to speak to your child kindly and with care about their day-to-day experiences so they would feel comfortable opening up to you. This way you'll be aware of any issues they may be facing at school. Now, what can schools do to prevent bullying? Well, here are some effective guidelines schools can implement to diminish this atrocious act. 1. Encourage positive social behaviors by setting expectations and providing positive reinforcement. 2. Create a safe environment where students feel comfortable talking about bullying and reporting incidents. 3. Establish clear rules and consequences for bullying behavior and ensure that everyone is aware of them. 4. Monitor the school environment closely to identify potential bullying situations. 5. Provide regular anti-bullying education and training for teachers, staff, and students. 6. Promote an understanding of what bullying is and isn't. 7. Encourage bystanders to take responsibility and to intervene. 8. Devise strategies to support victims, such as peer support groups or counseling. 9. Empower students to get involved in anti-bullying initiatives. Schools need to implement and comply to a strict anti-bullying system that will make bullies think twice before acting out their callous intentions. If we all work together, we can put an end to this, but it will take some time and effort. So I urge you to please like and share this video to spread awareness, as you may be a part of a great cause.